BetterBot has always been straightforward with presenting itself as a bot and not pretending to be a human. Why is that?
When it comes to AI technology, we notice that there are a lot of misconceptions. And immediately people go from reality to sci-fi and they imagine bots taking over humans. We're not there yet, folks. We don't have bots that are going to take over human jobs just yet. But one thing that really bothers me as a trend when I see bots trying to masquerade themselves as humans, and they're obviously bots. So one thing that's always been important to us from a product philosophy, let people know that they are working with a bot. Don't try to make a bot as smart as a human because it never works. And all you're doing is you're deceiving people. People do not like to be deceived. So for us, it was very important from the onset.
Illegal in California.
And it's actually illegal in California.
Human. You have to tell them you're a bot. But it's also interesting too because you're setting this expectation. If it's a human, you expect human-like responses.
That's correct.
And levels or quality of work. Bots aren't there, so what you're already doing is setting up an expectation of failure. You're setting up a bad user experience. It's just not the same as humans today. So it's frustrating from a consumer perspective.
And we're seeing that in the broader tech space. You see some of the biggest AI providers like Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Microsoft abandoning chatbot projects just because natural language processing simply isn't there. And the more we try to replicate human language, the more we are learning on how complex language really is. So for us, that was very clear that that's not a good goal. But bots, on the other hand, can still automate and get the job done. And they can still augment humans very well. And they can still allow you to have a 24/7 operation. So there's a lot of benefit from bots. But to us, it was very important to be very ethical as well while we're developing bot technology.
The only time, you said a great quote the other day, I have used it twice. The only time people want to be deceived is when they go to a magic show.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they want to know exactly what's going on, and they don't want to feel they've been deceived. So if they feel like they've talked to somebody at a property back and forth and it's portrayed as a human, they find out it's not. That's actually not a great feeling. People just don't inherently like that. Perfectly okay knowing they're working with the technology.
Absolutely.
As long as technology gives them what they want. No problem.
How did BetterBot leverage guided conversation so that the prospect interactions did not feel transactional?
One important thing about human behavior is now we're realizing that humans have only a limited amount of social capital, and they don't want to waste it on transactional conversations. So BetterBot solves a big BetterBot solves a big problem, and that is that people don't want to talk to people about simple questions. Like they don't want to call someone, or they don't want to use live chat to find out the price of something. They don't want to talk to a human being on the phone just to find out if something's available. They want that knowledge immediately, and they want to get that in an impersonal manner. So bots actually serve this human behavior or changing human behavior very, very well.
But when you get on a phone call, you gear up and you know it's going to take a little bit of energy.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to do that unless I want to have some kind of empathy conversation for some reason, which quite frankly, a lot of times I don't. So I just want the information without having to engage human, which sounds terrible, but I want to reserve the energy for when it really matters, not finding basic level. I never actually really put that together to this stuff.
That's the big misconception that humans are no longer social. I beg to differ. I think people still enjoy talking to other people, but they want to be able to derive some value out of that conversation. But whenever it's about transactional stuff, about pricing and availability, they absolutely do not want to talk to a human, but they do want to get that information very quickly, easily from their favorite device.
Hey, thanks for watching. To learn more about BetterBot, head to betterbot.com.